There we are.
Here we go. We're live, baby. We're live, GB.
All the way live.
B-double Brandon Benefield, GB Gerard Bonner. This is the SHW30 pre-show, also known as the RumbleJack, the third annual RumbleJack. And, man, we have been so pumped about this for weeks.
Listen, are you ready to rumble,
I
Jack?
am so ready to rumble,
I
Jack.
am super ready. Listen, we wait all year for the RumbleJack. It's such a special moment here in SHW. Why is it so special? Because we believe 30 men will be battling for the all-important #1 contendership for the SHW Championship. And there's no one place where you can punch your ticket in one night to the top of this organization than SHW30 RumbleJack. It's about to go down.
Oh, it's going to be so awesome. And you mentioned the number there, 30, at least 30. Because if you recall, Gary Lamb recently said that it could be more than 30.
It could be.
So we know what we heard last was at least 30. So we don't know how many that means exactly. I guess we'll find out when everybody else here in the action building finds out.
And history has taught us almost anybody will show up. And considering what has happened in SHW over almost 3 years, it's possible for anybody to walk through the doors here tonight.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
Never know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
What we do know is in addition to the huge RumbleJack match, there's going to be 3 other big matches here tonight.
Oh, yes.
2 championship matches, a singles match in the women's division with, dare I say, our new queen.
I told you last week here on the podcast, I will continue to reiterate, she is the queen of SHW. I call her Queen Rekka Tahaka. Based on what she did here last month, there is no question, there is no debate. She's the queen, and tonight her queendom is on the line.
Now, GB, I don't mean to call you out here in front of everybody, but not only did you call her the queen, you also sang a song.
She's your queen to be. No more to be. She is our queen, folks. Rekka Tahaka is in the house, and I have to say this. I appreciate her opponent tonight, Angelica Risk.
Yeah.
But I will say it is a risk, daughter of Zion, for you to make your way in here to Rekka Tahaka. I can only imagine what's going to happen here tonight.
The thing about Angelica Risk is that you and I, we've seen her at the Nightmare Factory.
Yes.
She's a rookie in this business, and this is one of her first big matches on a big stage here at SHW. And got all the potential in the world. I just feel like she's come in on timing is everything.
But you know what? To that point, I also think back to, I believe it was February of 1990. A certain Mike Tyson was on top of the world. Nobody could touch him. He was more untouchable than MC Hammer. And what ends up happening is he goes to Tokyo and he takes things lightly. And an unlikely Buster Douglas shows up and changes the course of the boxing world. So let's not completely rule her out, because all it takes is 3 seconds. It takes one night, and tonight could be the night that Angelica Risk makes a name for herself at the expense of Rekka Tahaka.
Wouldn't that be something? Because here you have Rekka Tahaka, who came into SHW with a purpose.
A serious purpose.
And she came in last month and took it to Danny Jordan like we've never seen before, shocked everybody. And could you imagine if Angelica Risk comes in here and does the same thing?
Here's what I've learned about a night like tonight. It is one of those can you imagine kind of nights. Because really, almost anything can happen here all the way across the board. And starting with that could really be a situation if it goes down like that tonight.
We'll see, and it's a big match coming up. Doors just opened here a few minutes ago at 7 o'clock. The bell time is at 8 o'clock, so you still got about an hour to get down here. If you're nearby and you're sitting on the couch debating, do I want to go out tonight on a Friday night? Of course you do. You want to be here, Canton, Georgia, 261 Marietta Road at the Action Building, SHW30, a.k.a. the third annual RumbleJack. You don't want to miss it. Of course, we will air this on IWTV here in the next week or so, but there's nothing like being here live in the Action Building. We say it every month, GB.
That's right. You get to see what's going to happen firsthand before the rest of the world sees it. You get to see it. You get to experience. And I tell you, it's one of the honors and joys of our lives to be able to call this action. And tonight, it's something special in the air. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know tonight it's guaranteed we're going to have a new #1 contender. I don't know who it's going to be, though.
It's going to be interesting. Sorry, I am listening.
Yes.
However, I am looking at the comments here. Alex Autry, who's actually back after a long time away.
Yeah, we've missed him.
Letting me know that my fly was down.
Wow. How did he see that?
I don't know.
That's a concern.
Where is he's in the building somewhere. But he's watching along, which I know a lot of our fans standing in line outside and, of course, in the building are watching along on their phones.
Yeah.
And, of course, folks are watching along at home as well. Again, if you are at home and you're nearby, come on out. You still got time. We've got 55 minutes until opening bell. But, again, we talked about that great women's match coming up, Rekka Tahaka and Helica Risk.
Yeah.
We've got 2 title matches in addition to the big RumbleJack match. The first of those title matches, the tag titles. Now, here's a match that we've talked about on the podcast for the last few weeks.
Yes.
I'm just really curious how the fans are going to react to this match because you have 2 fan favorite teams, our champs, Technical Excellence, Kyle Matthews, Chip Day, just over the moon here in SHW.
Yes.
But then you got another team, All-Star Special, Hold My Beer Hands, and William Huckabee.
Yeah.
Also super over with this crowd.
Absolutely.
And I wonder who the crowd's going to be behind more in this match.
What a difference a year makes, right?
Crazy.
This time last year, of course, it was our first show back. A certain Hold My Beer Hansen had been campaigning to get his way into SHW and into the RumbleJack. Here he is tonight, now getting an opportunity at the SHW Tag Team Championships. You look at this time last year, Chip Day, really kind of made his official SHW debut, winning the opening match to put him at number 30 into the RumbleJack, and he was one of the final 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Here he is this year, a tag team champion with Kyle Matthews, who wasn't even at the RumbleJack last year.
And who would have thought we would ever see those 2 tagging together and becoming one of the most popular tag teams here in the company?
To me, it's one of the biggest stories of 2021 for SHW, the presentation of Technical Excellence. They are incredible. So you really have a clash in 2 styles, but you also have 2 of the most popular tag teams, honestly, in the history of SHW. We did not see either of these teams really doing what they've done in 2021. And neither of these teams existed in 2020.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting.
Crazy to think about and crazy to think that by the end of the night we could see All-Star Special walk out of here as the new tag team champs.
Yeah.
But also do not forget that all 4 members of that match, members of both teams, will enter individually into the RumbleJack at the end of the night. So we could be looking at somebody, one of those 4 could go on and win the title perhaps if they win the RumbleJack, and then they could be a double champion.
There are all sorts of possibilities about tonight that are really exciting to me. And again, this tag team title match, again, you mentioned that they are 2 very, very popular teams here in SHW.
Yeah.
And if you've ever watched our show, you'll know this. Whenever either of those teams come out, the place goes crazy. It is absolutely electric. So, one, I don't know what song's going to be in the jukebox tonight for All-Star Special.
You know it's going to be a sing-along, whatever it is.
It is going to be a sing-along, but there's one thing we haven't talked about, which really is one of the, mysteries of tonight.
Yeah.
And that is, what is the role that Logan Chase will play for the All-Star Special?
Great question. Remember last month, a little bit he tried to interfere and trip up. He tripped up, was it Huckabee?
He tripped up Huck, yeah.
And we kind of wondered, what's he doing here? Is he trying to throw the match for his team?
Right.
The team that he's begrudgingly having to manage.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see what happens here. Could he cost All-Star Special the titles? Or because he wants to be the manager of somebody holding the titles, will he help them? And will he interfere on their behalf?
That's the interesting thing. We don't know what's been happening when they've not been here in the action building, right? We know he is still their manager begrudgingly. Yeah. But could he have said something to the All-Star Special that would give them the edge tonight, that would allow them to become the tag team champions? For all this time, we've been excited about, seeing, Logan Chase in the unusual outfits he's been in. Seeing him perhaps take a trip to the Waffle House and things like that. Yeah. But could there have been a moment where he has told them the secret to become the SHW Tag Team Champions? We will find out tonight, and we know this. Logan Chase will do anything to get to SHW Gold.
Absolutely.
He tried it, of course, with the Honor Society, and that didn't exactly work. Could this be his ticket to SHW Gold tonight?
You know, and something else I just thought about, you know, all 4 members of that match are going to be going into the RumbleJack later on. Well, there was a few slots still left open that we didn't hear about. And if you'll recall last year, Logan Chase actually entered the RumbleJack
with his then tag team.
Right. And I'm not saying he's going to tonight, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I know there are a few slots left open that we don't know about. So your guess is as good as mine. But that's going to be an interesting match, and I'm very anxious to see who comes out on top and who could potentially go on to maybe become the first ever double champion here in SHW. But
it could happen.
That's not the only title match we have. We also have David Ali, I think surprisingly defending the title here tonight in a championship match because this actually came to be after last month's show.
Correct.
Jordan Kingsley had already won a qualifying match to enter the RumbleJack. So we knew he was going to be an entrant.
Right.
There was a confrontation backstage.
Yeah.
Our new member of management, Todd Sexton, was back there, and it ended up creating this matchup.
Yeah.
And David was okay with it. He signed off on it. Of course, Jordan was obviously excited to get a title shot without actually having to be in the Rumble.
Sure.
And so it just kind of happened. And it kind of threw all of us off a little bit because we're like, wait a second. And we also found out, for instance, he's not successful in winning the title, he'll still get a chance to enter the RumbleJack. He still has that spot in the RumbleJack match. So what I'm curious about is if Jordan does win, does that mean David then gets Jordan's spot in the RumbleJack?
You know, this is one of those things where, again, we've been talking about anything can happen.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you remember I think they were called Mad Libs. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Where you kind of had to put something in, and it could alter, which way the story
fill in the blank
go.
with kind of a silly word or silly
and
phrase.
Then it changes the direction of the story. So we could see that happen. So picture it, Sicily, 1917, right? So what you have here is a scenario where I think David Ali, again, is in that space where it is official. He is the longest reigning SHW champion in history. He has the most title defenses of any champion in SHW history. There is no more argument that David Ali is the greatest SHW champion in history, and believe me, it pains me to say that. With that said, this could be really dangerous for David Ali if he believes his own hype and he thinks, well, I don't have to take Jordan Kingsley seriously.
Yeah.
Jordan Kingsley is a serious competitor. Let's remember, he was one of the first 5 in the original match on the first episode of SHW.
He had the very first match against AC Mack, beat Mack to enter that match.
He sure did.
Yep.
So here's a guy who, again, has the potential to get it done.
Yep.
The question is, can he put Logan Chase and all of those things behind him? Can he put the decisions that he has regretted behind him and put his focus all on this? Here's what I think will be a mistake for him tonight. If he's thinking, well, if I lose, what can I do for RumbleJack? And he tries to save some of what he can do for RumbleJack. To me, this is all or nothing.
Yeah.
Go all in, and you absolutely give everything you have, because if you win the title, you don't have to worry about RumbleJack.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about anything. So to me, if I'm Jordan Kingsley, he has everything to gain here and nothing to lose. And meanwhile, our champion, David Ali, has everything to lose.
Yep.
Because he's having a banner year. If he loses the title tonight, his momentum is stopped.
Yeah.
It's all over.
For sure. Yeah. And what's interesting, too, I mentioned if Jordan is able to win the title, does that give David Ali his slot in the RumbleJack?
That's a great question.
Who's to say he wins the title and is still allowed to enter the RumbleJack? And if he can go on to win that,
then he has no challenge.
I guess he picks his own opponent or doesn't have a challenger.
That's the best of both worlds.
I don't know. That's what's so crazy about this RumbleJack match.
Yeah.
The last 2 years, this being the 3rd annual, is that you just never know what's going to happen.
Right.
There's so many crazy possibilities.
Right.
And in this match, this title match going into the RumbleJack is a prime example of that, because we don't know how it'll play out.
Absolutely.
If Jordan were to win.
Yeah.
Or if David wins. I mean, didn't we see, I know this was a different universe, but didn't we see Brock Lesnar enter the Royal Rumble as the champion?
Well, that's the thing, right?
How crazy.
Like, the idea that anything can happen.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's the thing, is anything really can happen. Titles could change hands here tonight. Like, nothing is a lock except for one thing. That we will have.
Excited. Are you excited for RumbleJack? Because I am. It's the 1-year anniversary of Hold My Beer Hansen.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know how it snuck in last year.
Oh, we remember. Right through the back door.
Yeah. Let's just hope I don't run into a few people. Let's start the list. One, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Gunnar Miller.
Yeah.
Who else's stuff? Tank.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I don't want to run into. They're all bigger than me.
So, wait, let me ask you this question, though. What are your thoughts on the tag title match that you have tonight?
All right, so it's a tall task. I'm not going to lie. So for All-Star Special, we really haven't showed off our technical prowess. Huck's been in the business 15 years.
Yeah.
For me, I have a small amateur background, so I'm hoping to rely on that tonight.
Okay.
I know Chip, he's got those strikes. They're tough. They're hard.
Yeah.
And I saw the work he did against Jordan Kingsley when I was special guest refereeing.
Yeah.
Kyle Matthews, I've watched this stuff for a long time. Coming from South Georgia, Kyle Matthews used to wrestle down there a lot.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect for both guys. All three men in that ring, I'm the guy that's standing out.
Wow.
I'm the oddball out in this situation. And yes, my nerves are high on this.
Okay.
Am I going to have to work harder tonight? Am I going to have to push myself? Absolutely. I want to be champion, especially for Southern Honor. You know, being Southern Honor Tag Team Champion, it would be a cornerstone, and it would be an undeniable fact that we would be running for Tag Team of the Year.
I would agree with that.
But I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be a tall task.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I am absolutely excited that I've been here for 1 year and been able to stick out for 1 year, because people come and go.
You're right.
And if you can't stay here at Southern Honor, it goes to show that you ain't got what it takes. So, you know what? Hold My Beer Hansen. Hey, I proved that I was here to stay. I stuck with the right people, stuck with the right crowd, pushing myself day in and day out. And today, it's going to be the test.
It is going to be the test. We're excited for you, man, and this is going to be a big night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, if y'all coming out tonight to Southern Honor RumbleJack, it's the 1 year anniversary of Hold My Beer Hansen. I don't like that light in my face. But, yeah, to tell you this, go ahead. We got the merchandise. We have exclusive shot glasses today. You can actually buy a set. 5, buy 5, get 1 free. They're amazing. And the shirts, we're selling out of those. Those are going to be done. We're working on merch mercenaries.
That's right.
We're getting rid of the shirts we got now. New shirt on the way, and it's going to be a wild ride. Hey, thank you so much for your time, for me stealing y'all's time.
It's all good.
Yo, come on out tonight. RumbleJack, Southern Honor, SHW30. Come on, what is it? 261, 26.
You got it. That's right.
Marietta Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on out. Here you go.
Awesome. Well, just like the RumbleJack, anything can happen here on our podcast, as we've seen.
What did you just say? You never know who's going to show up.
I promise you. And, yeah, here he is. So, Hold My Beer Hansen, we just finished talking about the possibilities for that tag team title match.
Yeah.
And it's great to get commentary from him and his thoughts. If that doesn't excite you to get out here, I don't know. And, again, the mercenaries.
And by the way, I went out there earlier, and Huckabee was trying to hawk some of those shot glasses onto me.
Oh, wow.
But I thought, the fact that we work here, maybe he'd hook me up. But no, I still had to pay.
Oh, no, there's no hookup.
These aren't the little baby shots either. These are big shot glasses.
Oh, really?
I was like, whoa. This is
the
real deal.
Those guys can put it down.
Right.
They can put it down.
Well, you see what he carries to the ring with him.
Good
Hansen
Lord.
brings the beer.
Yeah.
Huck usually brings the handle of whiskey.
I hear they say straight no chaser for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But well, there you go. A surprise guest there.
There you
Hold
go.
My Beer Hansen. Funny enough, crashing the podcast like he did a year ago.
Who can forget?
To campaign his way into the RumbleJack. And now here he is, as you mentioned before, one of the most popular guys here in the company. So I do want to give a shout-out. Roger Vaughn, who's watching, he's in the building. I know I saw him earlier. He says, let's get ready to rumble.
I'm for it.
Jack. I'm going to add the Jack so we don't get sued with the copyright there.
Oh, I like the rumble. Jack.
It
feels good.
Of course, Alex is still here. I just saw him. He was walking by, and he says, hashtag Alex for RumbleJack 2021. I will say, we just talked about Hansen campaigning his way in last year.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd year in a row that Alex has also campaigned for himself to be in the RumbleJack, and it hasn't worked out thus far.
Well, maybe he needs Hansen as his campaign manager.
I will say, too, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I will say, like we mentioned before, there are a number of slots still open that we haven't heard about. So, hey, it could happen.
There's an interesting combination of things. There are slots that are apparently still open.
Yeah.
In addition to it, this year, there are 13 entrants that have never been in the RumbleJack before.
Oh, okay.
So that's an interesting.
So ones that have been announced.
Ones that have been announced.
Right. So there could be more than that. Yeah.
So it could be. So the ones that have been announced, there are 13 who have never been in the RumbleJack before, which is a very interesting stat.
Yeah.
Because that means, again, the SHW Championship is of paramount importance. And let's just be clear, this is not a situation where you just toss your name up and then the powers that be go, yeah, you can be in the RumbleJack, and you can be in the RumbleJack, and you can be in the – no.
Yeah.
You have to really demonstrate that you belong here in SHW, or that there is some degree of worth and value that puts you in the top independent organization in pro wrestling. So tonight's going to be very special. There are a ton of people that are scheduled to be here. And then again, there are the surprises. And if we remember last year, the surprises blew us away.
Yeah. There was, I mean, we saw people showing up from other organizations that we never would have expected to step foot in the Action building.
You know, there are people running around the wrestling industry talking about a certain forbidden door.
Right.
I think someone here in SHW created the forbidden door before it was a forbidden door. Listen.
The Georgia Indie Wrestling forbidden door.
And let me tell you, the people just came right on through last year.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know who's going to show up this year. In the past, we've had Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
We've had, all sorts of folks show up. So I don't know what tonight's going to hold.
Robert Gibson, who you were talking about, the Hall of Famer. Johnny Swinger showed up last year.
Sure did.
Terry the Rocker Lawler showed up last year.
I remember that, yeah.
I mean, you just never know. One of my crazy memories was the first year, speaking of Robert Gibson, the real mean girl Danny Jordan eliminating Robert Gibson.
Absolutely.
Like, how insane was that? Crazy insane moments.
Yeah.
Moments after moment after moment.
Well, how about the moment in the first RumbleJack, since you mentioned that, the dance-off that happened between
Shug
Dunkerton
and our very own Ashton Starr.
Although I don't think this year Ashton Starr is interested in dancing with anybody.
I don't know. Well, he and Zicky Dice have both been announced as entrants.
Yes.
But they've also kind of created this partnership of sorts over the last couple months. So
and it's worked out fairly well for them so far.
It'll be interesting. Will they work together in the match? And then if it comes down, it's going to end up being every man for himself eventually.
Yeah. And so let's review the rules very quickly of this year's RumbleJack.
2 men start, or 2 competitors, I should say,
right,
because again, Ravenna Bain, Danny Jordan have been entrants in the past.
Yes.
Again, we don't know if either of them could be surprises.
We don't know.
We haven't heard.
Yeah.
But 2 competitors will start the match, just like kind of a Royal Rumble setup. And then at random.
Yes, random intervals.
This year, it's a little different.
Yeah.
I think the first year we did maybe every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then last year, we kind of do what we're doing this year, where it's like random intervals.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be up to Garrett, who's the guy that's hitting the music.
But here's the scary part about the random concept.
Yeah.
What's scary about that is, again, when you try to train for something like this, you can prepare yourself, okay, at this amount of time, there'll be somebody. If you don't know when somebody, how do you know to conserve your energy if you're early into this thing?
And messes with the strategy.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's a whole new twist that I think makes this different than any other event or battle royal out there.
Yeah.
Because the random feature can be scary, and we don't know what the random generator is. So what we do know is at some point, at least 30 we're hearing, will show up here. I don't know who. Well, we do know who number 1 is.
It'll be Owen Knight.
We don't know who number 2 is.
Number 2, we do know that is sponsored by a surprise guest, sponsored by Immortal Tattoos, one of our great sponsors here at SHW.
Yes.
They're here every show. Love those guys.
Yeah.
But they're bringing in a special guest. And I will tell you, Mike Holmes from Immortal on social media for the last month has been teasing that his guy or girl or, man or woman, I don't know his entrant, is going to go all the way and is going to go on to win the title.
That's what
he sounded very confident for the last month.
Very confident. So we don't know. We haven't been given insight. What we do know is I'll be very anxious to see who number 2 is.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be insane. So I think we had maybe 25 initially announced.
Yeah.
However, I will say, if you follow SHW social media, last night, we had 2 more announcements. And let's talk about these guys real quick, because we showed everybody else love for the last 3 weeks on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So it would only be fair to show these guys a little bit of love.
Absolutely.
Duncan Mitchell, who is, we know him coming out of the Nightmare Factory, but has been making waves all over the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
And he'll be making his SHW debut here tonight.
Yeah.
Quite the prospect, and he's got a ton of potential.
Yes.
And I think he could go a long way. But, Duncan Mitchell, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited for Duncan Mitchell. Again, we've had an opportunity opportunity to see him doing some work at the Nightmare Factory. And what I like about this particular move is he is a young top prospect. And again, when top prospects get an opportunity in a match like this, there is a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Certainly there is the opportunity to be the #1 contender, but there's also the opportunity to make a massive name for yourself. I'm reminded of some of the folks we saw last year that debuted. Of course, we talked about Hold My Beer Hansen, but one certain Austin Towers made his way into SHW by way of the RumbleJack, and we remember the kind of year he's had since then, even though we've not seen him in a while. But he was immediately connected to the now SHW champion. So, you know, anything can happen, and I think the opportunities for Duncan Mitchell right here are huge. And as we saw last year with, say, a debuting Ben Buchanan.
I was going to say, Ben Buchanan last year made a huge impact.
Huge impact, you know. So I think this is a great opportunity. And again, as we said last week, a lot will depend on the luck of the draw. If he ends up in a later number, this could be something we'll be talking about for a long, long time. So I'm excited for Duncan Mitchell here at the RumbleJack.
Another gentleman that was announced just last night at the last minute. A guy who, again, will be making his SHW debut as well. His name is Tyson Maddox, who, I just met this guy backstage, first time meeting him. Very impressive, very imposing. The dude is built.
He's jacked.
And, I mean, he looks impressive. And there's all the utilities, all the agility, the tools to go the distance in this thing. And I think just toured Mexico. He's toured Japan a little bit. And been in the business, I think, 4 or 5 years now.
He's a world traveler for sure.
Making a name for himself across the world for sure. And making his way to SHW here tonight.
What I like about this is, again, you know, we've got talents coming literally from all around the world. And what people may not understand is if you can find success in Japan and in Mexico, you are doing something serious. It is not Mexico is not just a place for luchadors. When someone who has a stature like his is able to be successful there, you've got a situation. So what he could do here in the RumbleJack is significant. And what's scary is, because he's a last-minute entry, people haven't had time to prepare for him or for Duncan. So the thing that you can't prepare for is the thing that could take you out.
Absolutely. So those were the 2 latest announcements. And again, that we still have a number of slots left open that were not filled. And again, at least 30. We've been told it'd probably be more. So, but we were never given a definite number.
Absolutely.
So we're going to find out when the crowd here in the Action Building finds out. But another thing. We did kind of take a sidetrack there. We talked about the rules. The rules of this match, much like a Rumble, over the top rope elimination. Now the thing, throwing the jack in there. RumbleJack. And when it comes down to the final 2 competitors, the rest of the guys or gals that were eliminated come back out, surround the ring, and then it becomes a one-on-one lumberjack match.
That's right.
And the way you win that is over the top rope elimination or pinfall or submission.
That's it.
So that's when it gets real interesting.
It does get
because
very interesting.
2 competitors will have gone through 30 or 30 plus, and then they'll have to face each other one-on-one.
And it's interesting because, again, as wrestlers, you're almost programmed to go for the pinfall. But pinfalls don't mean anything during the primary part of the RumbleJack. But when the Rumble becomes a jack, that's when your mindset has to switch. And you have to really consider that it's not just about throwing someone over the top, but it is about pinfall or submission. So it really will get down to skill set. It'll get down to endurance. And what do people have in the tank? Is there a submission that they'll be able to pull out? Can you imagine that?
You just said tank.
Oh.
And it made me think, well, guess who else is debuting here in SHW here tonight? The one and only Tank, the hardcore legend in Georgia. I'm the bloodbath behemoth.
I am very nervous about Tank. When I saw his video pop up a couple of months back that he was going to be a part of the RumbleJack, I got very nervous. Because here's the thing, when you love death matches, when you love hardcore things, listen, those things are not in control of anything, right? They can fly whenever. They can move wherever. So now this becomes dangerous for us.
Absolutely. That's when I feel a little, like I usually like our spot here at ringside.
But
when those kind of guys are involved in a match, that's when I get a little nervous.
Absolutely.
Like Sin Bodhi, for instance. When he was here, I got a little nervous, like, oh, okay.
And for a good reason.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I got a face full of the beard grease that night, but I don't think it ever made it on camera, thankfully.
Good for you. Somebody somewhere might have a picture of it, though.
Anyways, it was ridiculous. But those kind of guys, when they're out here, it's a little scary if you're sitting at ringside.
Well, and that's what's interesting, right? So for someone like Tank, who is certainly into the hardcore element, then you have to ask yourself, what is his motive here tonight?
Yeah.
Is his motive to become the #1 contender? Is his motive to, pillage and plunder?
Maim people and injure people.
Or is it to do all of the above?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, here's a guy who has been retired. What a way to make a comeback than to not just beat up people, but go ahead and make your way to the #1 championship in independent pro wrestling. He's used to being a champion over his career. He can do it again, and everybody wants to come back for that one last run.
He's been commenting on, and anytime we post on social media on SHW's pages, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, when we were making the announcements, announcing different entrants, he would always chime in and comment, that he's coming, and he can't wait to get here.
Yeah.
And he can't wait for some bloodshed. And I actually saw him backstage.
Oh, gosh.
And going down the hallway, I immediately turned around and went back the other way.
Yes. I'm glad I haven't seen him.
He's a scary individual.
He is.
And, it's prior to the show, but he just looks intimidating. He looks scary. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
Went the other way.
No thing.
And, the lights are going out here on our spotlight.
That's our cue.
That's our cue to wrap things up. So that's going to do it here for the SHW30 pre-show.
They shut the lights on us.
Once we get rambling here, we forget to look at the clock.
There you go. It's time to go, though, folks.
Our lighting department will give us the cue there. But that's going to do it here for SHW30. You still got 30 minutes to get down here before bell time. It's going to be amazing, man. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Get here. It's going to be incredible. And if you can't make it here, watch us on IWTV when this premieres, hopefully next week.
It's going to be amazing. RumbleJack is just minutes away.
It is.
We cannot wait. Folks, get out here. We hope to see you. But until then, this has been SHW.
This is our wrestling.